Hello and welcome to Watch It Paint It. In this video I am going to be unboxing this Army Painters Dungeons and Dragons Nolzur's Marvelous Pigments Monster Paint Set, Adventurers Paint Set, and the brushes as well. So what happened was a close friend of mine, an old friend of mine, plays Dungeons and Dragons, and he contacted me and asked how he could get into painting some of the miniatures. And luckily, Army Painter just released these sets, or were just about to release these sets. I knew they were coming out, so I could recommend that he gave these a try. He's now painting miniatures. He's just started. He's really enjoying it, and he's bought both of these sets now. And he says they're great, they're fantastic. And I thought, well, I've recommended them, but I could really do with getting hold of a set and having a look and just a little talk about them. You can see they're brand new, they're wrapped. It's going to be a semi-review because I've used Army Painter's paints before, and these are really just rebranded, rebottled sorts of paints they've got. There's some brand new ones from the sets, but basically they're Army Painter paints, so they're going to be similar to everything else. First thing I wanted to mention is the price, I guess, is this box, 10 paints. Very similar to the Zombicide versions, where they've brought out a set of paints just for Zombicide, and they're about the same price, about £20 each. Same number of paints. These are smaller bottles, but this comes with a miniature, so swings around about. So it's about fairly priced for Army Painter paints. It's slightly less paint, but you get a miniature. And I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if this is worth money or any significant value or anything. It's a Minsk and Boo miniature, and the bigger box comes with an owlbear, whatever that means, I guess, for you Dungeons and Dragons guys. So let's have a look at what you get. But similar to, let me just open this quickly so I don't just talk over ripping paper. So similar to the Zombicide sets, I do really like these sets by the Army Painter in that they're, you know, designed for a specific game, and they're very good, I think, for new painters, beginners, people who don't really know where to start, like myself. 3 years ago, no idea where to start. Had there not been a Zombicide paint palette by the Army Painter, I don't think I'd be painting now. So because they made that set, it was very easy for me to know what paints to buy and how to get started. Obviously now I've got way more paints than just the Zombicide set, but it was, first of all, plenty enough paints on the palette, the range, to get through all of Zombicide, and then I carried on with Arcadia Quest after that, and I've only had to buy a few extra paints for that. So let's have a look. This is the Adventurers paint set. So this is aimed at painting the D&D heroes, I guess. A lot of the humanoid skins, I guess, because that looks like the skin tone. You get a little leaflet, a bit of advertisement for them, tells you about their online painting tutorials, and shows you a bunch of the colours and what you get. So in the box you are presented with, what's this? What is this? Another little, oh, it's a list of all their assemblies, their primers, quick shades, a bunch more of their products and their paint ranges. And then you get 10 paints. Let's have a quick look at the paint. First of all, I think this palette is going to cover being able to paint most things. If you're just getting started, I think this would be plenty enough for you. You also get a brush. So they give you a starter brush. And I've not used their starter brushes before, but Benson has. He's used the ones we got from the Zombicide set, and he says they're completely fine. For a beginner brush, he thought they were great, and he's managed to paint a few things with it with no problems whatsoever. I've still not to use one, but I should probably give it a go. But at least they give you one. It looks like a detail brush you start with in this box. And then, as I say, you get the palette range, which is going to cover you for painting basic miniatures full stop. So you're getting a brown, a bugbear brown, that probably means something. So they're all renamed, I guess, according to D&D stuff. A kraken blue, a very important white, lawful white. Let's skip that one for now. You're getting abyssal black, so nice black. So you've got black and white, which is very important. Then green, red and blue. Let's have a look. Dragonfire red, perfect. So there's the green, the red even. Colourblind. What's this one? Treant green. I don't know what a treant is. So there's the red, green and blue. That's going to cover you for a lot of stuff. And the yellow to go with it. Angelic yellow. No doubt as bad as every yellow ever, but they are what they are. Here's the skin tone I was talking about. A flump pink. So you get a nice survivor skin shade there. So brown again, very important. Levers, belts, that sort of stuff. And then you're also getting a grey as well. Grey, again, very, very important. So you present that will paint most stuff, and obviously you can mix them together. And then you get one metallic mithril silver. So again, it's mostly going to do you. So there's no washers in here, which is a little bit disappointing. I think just one single wash would go so far. It's one of the most important steps, I always think, especially for beginner painters. You're going to go from a model looking good to amazing just with wash. But they've got another set, and you can just buy a separate wash. Let's just have a look at this miniature for a minute. Looks pretty detailed. Nice folds in the cape. The sword's a bit bent. We will need to... Oh, that's really flimsy. But we can fix that. We'll get some boiling water and straighten that sword up as best we can. But other than the sword, yeah, that model looks nice. And this base is a really, really nice 3D base. It's got some sort of paving slabs underneath. Looks nice. Got nice detail in his face as well, and a little mouse on his shoulder. I guess that's Boo, Minx, one of them. Sure he's one of them. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad. Don't like the sword, bit bent, but it is what it is. So that's not bad. And as I mentioned, these are small bottles. I actually like that when I heard that these had small bottles, and I hadn't realised that they're now comparable to, where does it say the size? Is it 12mm? They're now comparable to Citadel paints, which have those bottles which look a lot bigger than this. 12mm underneath. So it allows you to see the price comparison a lot better. These are like half the price of Citadel. I've not realised now they've shrunk the bottles down. I didn't realise the normal size bottles are these 18mm. I think these are 17 or 18mm. So they're much bigger than the Citadel ones and still cheaper for the big bottles. So these are much smaller. And then the smaller bottles, I think, for me personally, it's much better. It takes up less space. Less could even dry out. I don't think Army Painter paints can dry out. I've never had one even come close. I think there's so much medium in them, it keeps really, really moist. But if they were to dry out, you can't waste as much paint. And then the other thing is, in 3 years of painting, I have not used up a single 18mm bottle yet. So I do not need 18mm. 12mm will do fine. I'll appreciate it taking up less space. I hope they start selling these individually at retail. I will. These would be the size I actually buy from now on. So that's the adventure set. I think that is a nice start, and that's plenty to paint him. And to be honest, I'd probably be able to get through. You know, when I first started painting, I'd been able to paint a whole game with just those 10 paints. Zombicide. Obviously, this isn't aimed at Zombicide, so it's not the best palette for that. But the Zombicide, well, I said at the start of this video, I painted the whole of Zombicide with just the Army Painter set specifically designed for Black Plague. Let's just pop these brushes to one side for a moment and then have a look at the Monster Paint set. I think, I'm trying to work out if you'd need both. If I was starting painting, I think I'd start with just the 10, paint Minx and Boo, see how I got on, see how I felt about that, and then purchase the next set if I enjoyed it and needed more paints. And that's basically what I did with Zombicide. I started with just the core set of Zombicide and kept adding all the expansions of the Zombicide paint range until I'd got nearly every paint they'd done. Now let's start with a miniature. That base is awfully warped. Can you see that? That's disappointing. I mean, again, I'm gonna have to get some boiling water, get that nice and floppy, and flatten that out as best as I can, just so you can stand up a bit better. Now I don't know what the other Dungeons and Dragons miniatures are like. Is this normal? You'll have to let me know in the comments below. Other than that bendy base, this guy looks beautiful. I love him. He's a little owl. Wow. Owlbear, eh? I don't know what the significance of these are. They don't exist in real life, but I sort of wish they did. How cool is that? Sorry guys. Getting distracted. And then what do we have in here? Should we have a look in the box? Let's see what we get. This is 36 paints this time. 29 normal paints, 3 washers. That's very, very important, I think. If you're beginning painting, get a couple of washers. It's going to go a long way and make your models look really, really good. You're going to be really proud really quick just using a few washers. And then this time you've got 3 metallics and an effect, which I'm going to guess is glistening blood. Let's find out. Oh dear, I'm battling with a box off camera. Well, where to begin? So that's the little slot for this guy. What have we got here? So different yellowy skin tone, rosy skin. That's a bit more peach-like. Then we've got a nice. I almost want to rearrange the. There's so many paints to look at. don't know how to begin. In fact, maybe it's no point covering each individual paint. I'm just seeing if there's any duplicates of what we had before, and then I'll look through the colours on the box just here, because there's no point picking them all up. But you get some washes, which is important. Brown wash. What colour? Reds. So the washes have red lids. That's very good for distinguishing which is which. So this is a flesh wash. The only problem is the effect. This is glistening blood, as I mentioned, doesn't have a different coloured lid, but metallics have black lids, so you can quickly see them. So you're getting a gold. I hope this is it's a bronze. Excellent. I imagine that's important in D&D. You need some bronzy weapons. And then the last colour, let's just see if it overlaps, is silver dragon. So it's a different silver to the previous box. Ah, yes, look, it's much lighter, much more pale. So they don't cross over any of the colours, which is nice. You get no duplications. And then the third wash is shadow wash, which is a black wash. You get black, brown, and a flesh wash, which is very, very handy. They're probably the three colours I use most when I'm another skin, when I'm painting ruddy skin. So they gave you a bunch of skin tones in this one, and then just a ton more paints on this side. Let's have a quick... Let's put the lid back on. Oh, this is really hard to show you. Here's the paints. Let's have a look at the colours. So it just gives you a much bigger range of colours than that starter set. So you can see there's sort of 3 blues and a grey blue and a purple. And then you've got 3 more skin tones, another leathery brown, a different yellow, 4 greens. You've got a nice range there. That's gonna allow you to do is highlight very easily. So using the starter set, say you use this Trent green and you needed to highlight it up a little bit, you're going to have to mix in a little bit of white, get that highlighting colour going. That's not too bad. Or yellow, a more subtle highlight if you mix those two together. Whereas using this set, especially if you've got the two together, here we go, the one's slightly darker than the other, so you could base coat using Firewild Emerald, and then highlight using Trent green, and then maybe the extreme highlights mix in a little bit of grung green for sort of, lips and cheekbones and that sort of thing. Is this one maybe more subtle? You do always need a good shake. You could just see how badly mixed together that was. Let's have a look. Not too bad, but I did notice this earlier, shake well. Did it used to say shake well so big? Oh, it did. It just seems to stand out a little bit more, maybe because it's a smaller bottle and larger font. It's very important with the army painters. Shake, 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 and then when you think you've shaked long enough, shake about 2 hours longer. It's going to mix the pigment. It's really, really heavy pigment, and it needs a very, very good mix together with that medium. But then you can have no problem as long as you just wear your arms out shaking it. That's it. That's not it. We've still got the brushes. This is a nice little set. You get your dry brush, you get a regiment brush. What do they call it here? This is called a base coat in this set, and then this must be a detail brush. Just pop these out. Now, Army Painter also have a most wanted paintbrush set. I'm not quite sure where this stands with it. This looks and feels more like their starter set, but in black. So it's a nice colour and all, but their most wanted brushes are just so good. I think the most wanted set is probably my most recommended brushes for beginners. Now, there are better brushes as you get better, but as a set as a whole, it comes with a 3 basically that you need more than anything in the most wanted set, and this is very similar. It gives you your dry brush, which everyone needs a dry brush. Everyone needs a trusty regimenty brush or base coat, for painting the majority of models, and then you need a detail brush as well. Now, in the most wanted set, they've got the triangle grips, which are much nicer than round in my opinion, but the most wanted comes with an insane detail instead of just a detail brush. And one of the things I did notice straight away when I started painting, I wasn't good enough to use an insane detail brush, and I just found it really, really frustrating. It was way too small, and I bought a detail brush by them very, very quickly within a week or so of painting. So this set actually has the 3 types of brushes I would recommend. So I'm going to really, really enjoy trying these out. I'll let you know in a few weeks' time how I get on with this set, but you can't go wrong if you're a beginner painter and you're just starting out and you can get hold of the most wanted set or this set. You're probably going to be set up for ages. Most wanted brushes lasted me 2 years, £12 or something, and I didn't need another brush for 2 years. And even then, to be honest, it's probably just because I accidentally got super glue on my regiment brush or something like that ruined it. could have been that, might not have been. I don't do anything special to look after my brushes, just clean them with water after every use. And that's it, guys. I think that's it all. So if you're brand new to painting, especially if you're into Dungeons and Dragons and you're thinking about starting out painting that, I would recommend picking up at least the adventure set to begin with, see how you get on. Or I think this is better value. I think the adventure set's about £18-20. I'll leave a link in the description below to Element Games. That will be an affiliate link, so some of the money comes to the channel if you want to support, and if not, you can go anywhere you'd like. Element Games is one of the cheapest in the UK, and they do deliver worldwide. And otherwise, I guess Amazon and direct from Army Painter will have these guys as well. And then you'll have to let me know in the comments. I'm going to paint up some of these guys. Which one would you like me to do first? Which do you fancy? I know which I fancy. Alright guys, I'm going to go and get some boiled water on these miniatures, just tidy them up a little bit, and then I'll get on with some painting. Thank you all very much for watching.